So what if you could solve a huge, complicated business problem in less time than it takes to make a cup of coffee? Today, we're diving into a fascinating test where an AI generated a complete, step-by-step business plan in just 14 seconds.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Could you untangle a massive knot of government red tape, legal terms, and financial questions to create a simple, easy-to-follow guide for a new business in 14 seconds? It sounds like something out of a movie, right? But that's exactly what we're looking at here.
All right, let's set the scene. Picture yourself on a busy street in São Paulo, Brazil. You've got a street food vendor there making amazing local food like coxinha and açaí. The passion is there, the product is awesome, but they're stuck. They're facing this giant wall when it comes to making their business official.
And that wall, well, it's bureaucracy. You know, how do you even begin to register as an MEI, which is Brazil's classification for a micro-entrepreneur? What permits do you need? What about taxes? For so many people with a great idea, this web of questions is just completely paralyzing.
So they took this very real-world challenge and basically gave it to an AI as a prompt. The big question was, could it spit out something genuinely useful, a complete guide for our street food vendor? The test wasn't just about if it could do it, but how well. And maybe most importantly, how fast.
And the answer is just mind-blowing. 14 seconds, not 14 minutes, not even close, 14 seconds. In less time than it's taking me to tell you about it, the AI had produced a whole comprehensive guide from scratch.
And listen, this wasn't just a random list of links or some generic advice. It was, and I'm quoting the source material here, a complete beginner-friendly guide, and, this is key, it was delivered in fluent, natural Brazilian Portuguese. So the big story here isn't just the incredible speed, it's the quality and the fact that it was actually useful for a real person on the ground.
So what on earth does a business plan created in 14 seconds even look like? What's inside? Let's actually break it down and see what this AI came up with.
Okay, first thing it did was tackle the biggest monster, the registration process. And it broke it down into this super simple 9-step checklist. It starts with the basics, like checking if you're even eligible, then takes you to the official government website, tells you to enter your CPF, that's kind of like a social security number in Brazil, and walks you all the way through to the end. It turns what feels like a bureaucratic nightmare into something you can actually do.
Next up, permits. This is another area where people just get lost. The guide laid out the 6 essential licenses in this easy-to-read table. It explains what each one is for, from the TPU, which lets you use public space, to the sanitary license for health and safety. All the guesswork, just gone.
All right, but for any entrepreneur, it all comes down to the numbers, right? The bottom line. And the AI guide didn't shy away from that. It laid out the money side of things in really clear terms. It gave a super specific, fixed monthly tax range, somewhere between about 77 and 82 Brazilian reais. Now, this one little number is huge. It instantly changes the cost of doing business from this big, scary unknown into a predictable, manageable monthly expense.
And then, right after showing the cost, it showed the payoff, the why. For that small monthly fee, our vendor suddenly gets Social Security benefits. They can issue official invoices, get a business bank account, even apply for loans. All of a sudden, going legit doesn't feel like a burden anymore. It feels like a massive level up for their business.
But here's where it gets really, really smart. A great guide doesn't just tell you what to do, it helps you figure out what not to do. And the AI's output went way beyond just a simple set of instructions. It gave proactive advice and pointed to real-world help.
So the guide didn't just give you a map, it also pointed out all the potholes in the road. It listed 8 common mistakes that new entrepreneurs make, and for each one, it gave a specific strategy to avoid it. It's like giving the vendor a crystal ball to see problems before they even happen.
And this might be the most important part of all. The AI didn't try to be the final answer. Instead, it acted like a bridge to real people. The guide listed 6 local resources, including major players in Brazil's small business world like SEBRAE. It connects the digital tool to actual, on-the-ground human support.
Now, if you zoom out for a second, you realize this story from São Paulo is just one tiny example. The source material says this tool is available in over 100 languages, and it's also voice-ready. That means this same kind of powerful, instant guidance could help an entrepreneur in Cairo or Mumbai or Mexico City. The potential for this to have a global impact is just enormous.
So what is this thing anyway? The people who made it call it an AI Taskmentor. And the idea is actually pretty simple, but really powerful. It's a tool that acts like an instant expert, breaking down these huge, messy problems into simple, doable steps for anyone, anywhere.
And really, it all boils down to this one guiding idea from the source material: no one left behind. The whole mission is to use this incredible technology not just for the sake of it, but to empower people who might otherwise get shut out by complicated systems, by language barriers, or just by not having access to expert advice.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. When expert knowledge, the kind of stuff that used to take expensive consultants or days of research, becomes instant and free, who benefits the most? What does that really mean for entrepreneurs, for our local communities, and for the entire global economy? This 14-second business plan, it's not just about speed, it's a real glimpse into that future.